All right, welcome back. So let's talk about Diddy. Let's talk about Puff Daddy. He snitches on himself on Ellen DeGeneres show. Okay, they were. I think they were talking about Chris Brown and Rihanna's drama. I'm not sure what they were talking about, but they were talking. But I want to play that video for you, and reason why I'll tell you why I'm sharing this in a second. Okay, but let's get into it. Let's get to this show.
I think that it's right for anybody to hit anybody at the end of the day, you know, and I don't think it's right. You know, I think that we all have to be honest with ourselves as adults. And people that have been in relationships, you know, we know sometimes those relationships get ugly, you know, and sometimes it doesn't come out into the forefront the way this one has come out. And it's a lot of stones being thrown, and we don't know exactly what's going on. You wasn't in that car. I wasn't in that car, and it isn't right for him to put his hands on her or her to put his hands on him. And we don't know what the problem is, but we need to pray for them, and we need to do things to support them. And that's all I want to say about it.
You have a lot of people going, why would you do that? Why would you give Chris, a guy who hit a girl, and he's jet skiing around in your, you know, I don't understand, because, I mean, listen, I was a huge fan of Chris's. I love Chris, his music, he's a talented guy, but to hit a girl... Yeah,
because I know both of them, and it's my house, and I'm allowed to get my house wherever I want to get my house.
Sure.
So that's number one. Number two is that I'm the type of person that I don't cast a stone or cast a judgment on anybody.
I think you were coming from a place of a friendship and of kindness and support. I don't want any girl out there thinking it's okay to go back to a guy who hit her. I don't want any girl to think that.
No, but you all put me in it, so I'm gonna speak on it. I don't think that it's right for anybody to hit anybody. I don't think that it's.
All right, so where do we go from here?
Right for anybody to hit anybody at the end of the day, you know. And
all right, so he doesn't think that anybody should hit anybody. Why are we talking about this? Let me bring you all up to speed first of all. First of all, Puff Daddy in recent times, precisely in the last few days, has been dragged, rightfully so, on this internet streets. All right, because he was caught red-handed giving his woman at the time, a fade. All right, so I'm just gonna say it like that. It's a whole video on CNN, released by CNN. Allegedly might have been leaked directly by the government itself, because they raided his house and somebody was keeping that video since 2016. But before that, he caught a bunch of lawsuits. He settled a lawsuit with Cassie, his past girlfriend, who has now moved on. She's married now. But she filed a lawsuit, about $30 million. She was settled. A lot of people speculate that she got $30 million, but it was settled within 24 hours. So people are speculating that she got what she wanted. And some people are also saying that she got paid for being beaten by the boyfriend. Now, we disagree with that. Of course, that's completely crazy for anybody to think like that. But that's what's been happening with Puff Daddy. Right, but then this video has been floating for the past 24 hours, been trendy, and I want us to study the video. And a lot of time here, I've recently had to slow down because I can see some things ahead of most people. So slow down to walk us through the conversations, because that's exactly what I am teaching you as a relationship, as a marriage coach. Sometimes you might think you have the answers, and you just have to be patient to walk through the issues, because some people are slower than you in that particular issue. Okay, so people are caught up in their emotions and stuff like that. So I want us to look at this video together to see if you see what I see, right? P. Diddy snitches on himself, right? He didn't say anything directly that insinuated that, but I'm going to play that again. Then I'm going to read some of the comments. I want us to study it together, to study some of his there's some kind of energy is exuding here. I want us to talk about it. I'm going to play it one more time, okay? And then we'll take it from there. Let's see.
I don't think it's right. You know, I think that we all have to be honest with ourselves as adults. And people that have been in relationships, you know, we know sometimes those relationships get ugly, you know, and sometimes it doesn't come out into the forefront the way this one has come out. And it's a lot of stones being thrown, and we don't know exactly what's going on. You wasn't in that car. I wasn't in that car, and it isn't right for him to put his hands on her or her to put his hands on him. And we don't know what the problem is, but we need to pray for.
All right, so he did something right there. Can anybody tell me what he did right there? No.
Why the fuck?
Not just that he lied, okay? Slow down, Chidima, okay? But he did something right there. If you can pinpoint what he did, you'll get candy. Tell me what he did right there that I'm translating to he was snitching on himself. Most normal human being, they look at that and say, hey, it makes sense, especially if they consider themselves logical, right? It just makes sense that he does that. You will hear a lot. He just did it. A lot of people do that today when we're talking about this kind of issues. Let me see what the chat is saying. Bumi, welcome, Bumi. How are you? Let's see. D Love says, I saw someone making excuses for his classmate. And that's what you see. Well, he said no one should touch anybody, right? Let me see. I think Chindima is touching on it. What aboutism? Well, he's not directly doing what aboutism because he didn't say what about, right? He's making an emphatic, should I say emphatic? He's emphasizing something here, right? And that's what I want us to pay attention to. Bumi says he was protecting and deflecting. You're way ahead of us. Like way ahead of us. There's something he's doing right here in this moment. It eventually translated that, you're right. But he's doing it right now. You know, let's keep going.
And we need to do things to support them. And that's all I want to say about it.
You have a lot of people going, why would you do that? Why would you give Chris, a guy who hit a girl, and he's jet skiing around in your...
Ellen is trying to say, hey, Chris, a guy would hit a girl, right? Now, I don't want to get into the Chris Brown's actual story, okay? That's another conversation entirely. But she's trying to get something out of him here. Let's keep going.
You know, I don't understand, because, I mean, listen.
She said, I don't understand, like, but he's going to double down. Let's keep going.
I was a huge fan of Chris's. I love his music. She
said, hey, I'm a huge... She's trying to get him to say something, but...
talented guy, but to hit a girl...
Yeah, because...
She just repeated it, to hit a girl. She's literally trying to help him, right? Film Girl says he was trying to humanize Chris. Exactly, all right? The whataboutism, he was trying to, like, don't let's castigate one side or the other. But there's a word I'm looking for. That's most of us when we're trying to have these conversations. That word is our attempt. Is the attempt we're trying to make. Okay, there's a word I'm looking for that he's trying to do here. And oftentimes when people do that, it's a red flag. Okay, red flag. In this respect, I want you to know that, again, let's humanize people that are red flags, okay? Most people are red flags in their own right. But let's just humanize them, okay? Anybody can have this red flag. Because, again, they mean well. Sometimes they mean well. Sometimes they are subconsciously trying to cover something. I say subconsciously because it's a natural, if you can relate in one way, shape, or form or the other, you might subconsciously defend certain things. Okay, it will drop out of your mouth in your energy, you won't even know it. Okay, let's keep going.
Because I know both of them, and it's my house, and I'm allowed to get my house whoever I want to get my house. Sure. That's number one. Number two is
he just did it again. I know both of them. What do most people do when it comes to marriage and relationship? They always start with most people's advices when it comes to relationship and marriages is both of you should, right? I think both of you should advices are cancelled instantly. Write that down. Anytime people say both of you should, any advice, marriage, relationship advice that starts with both of you should is to get to what they cancel out. It's meaningless. It's useless, essentially. It's a useless advice, and the person you're advising or the persons you're advising, they already know these things, so you're not really helping. You're just there. Like, you're not really useful for anything if you give such advices for relationship and marriages. And majority of people do that. Okay, so let's keep going. He's still talking. He said both of them. So he just did it. Okay,
that I'm the type of person that I don't cast a stone or cast a judgment on anybody.
I think you were coming from a place of a friendship, and
she's trying to help again. Say, I get it. I get it. Okay, but he actually doesn't get it himself.
You get it? If you don't get it, forget about it.
I get it, but She's about to do, but let's keep going.
And of kindness and support.
Kindness and support, but
I don't want any girl out there.
But she just went back to it. I don't want any girl out there. Not to welcome. I don't want any girl. She's making a specific point, and she's circling back around to that point. I'm not saying the point she made is actually right or wrong. I'm trying to actually work. I want us to work together to see the core. There's a core issue here. The issue is not Chris or Rihanna or even Puff Daddy. This is something that a lot of us do, but we don't realize we're doing it oftentimes when we're doing it.
They're thinking it's okay to go back to a guy who hit her. I don't want any girl to think that.
She just said it's not true, it's not true, it's not true. It's like, oh, no. Wait. What do you mean?
You know what?
What do you mean it's not me, right? He's going to do apparently this guy has been explaining for a long time.
Explain, because no evidence.
You are putting me in it, so I'm gonna speak on it. I don't think that
He said you're putting me in it, so I'm gonna speak on it, right?
it's right for anybody to hit anybody.
Okay, but it's still, I don't think it's right for anybody to hit anybody. That's not what she's talking about, right? Now, I'm not saying PDD is wrong here, but this is telling a lot, right? There's a certain way society is built when it comes to a man hitting a woman, regardless of what started it. We've covered this conversation here, right? A man hitting a woman, regardless that we live in a certain society, there's a certain social construct. There's a reason for the social construct, right? There's actually a certain group of people that tend to be more vulnerable than other groups of people, right? Either we're talking about gender, race, cultural, continental, religion. Okay, so all of these groups, if you look at stats, there are some that are more vulnerable than others. And when you go into civilization, the idea is to create systems that protect everyone, right? But when you're looking at the numbers, you have to look at the numbers square in the face and say, this is what it is. We need to protect a certain group of people. He's struggling in that respect in his comment here.
I don't think that it's right for anybody to hit anybody.
He just repeated the same point. I didn't rewind. I couldn't rewind. It's Instagram, so I can't rewind. Right? I don't think it's right for anybody to hit anybody. Is it wrong? No. It's not wrong. That's not what we're talking about.
You're right.
It's not wrong. It's not wrong. That's not what we're talking about. On paper, it's not wrong. Black and white, it's not exactly wrong. The word, I'm going to help. The word starts with B. He's trying to play the B word. I already said both of you should, but that's not the word. It's a B word that he's trying to play here. And some of you have heard me say that before, that the B word is really never the goal. Okay, it's not the goal. I get it that most normal human beings just naturally want to play the B word, but that's usually not the issue. Welcome, Uncle Ben. Welcome. Diddy want to shalaye. Men should not put their hands on women. That's what Ellen wanted him to say. No, not that B word, because he's doing opposite of B. He's trying not to blame. So, but there's a B word that he's attempting to do here. But you're right, I do say the word blame a lot, but not, he's actually flipping to the extreme end of blame. The extreme end of it is flipping all the way to the other side of it. Let me see if somebody else can help. He's trying to play the B word. When we want to do shalaye, you're like, let me bring some common sense to this issue. We want to balance. He's trying to balance. Not brotherhood. No, not brotherhood. Film gonna stop it. He's trying to balance. Okay? Balance is never, when there's a crisis, okay, balance, but it's another good B word. But not the big old but. No. Thank you. You're bringing up all the words that I've used that I push against, but there's one that is not really that popular yet, and that's balance. People try to play, they don't use the word balance, but they try to play balance. Right? There's certain things that happen in life you don't get to play balance anymore. And that's how he told on himself. Because if you listen to it, he was trying to balance on a B. He was just trying to balance. Nobody should put their hands on anybody. The crisis that just happened is that a man was caught in the act, okay, of them near putting a woman in the hospital. Okay, if you have any social intelligence left in you, you don't try to balance that conversation because it's already bad. Another B word, on a B. It's already bad. Okay, when they, especially when they try to help you multiple times over and over and over, and you keep circling back to that situation, it's like on a die at that point. It's like OTD Baraku, another B word. It's like you can't help yourself. It's no wonder, right, why you might find yourself in a what at some point. Okay, so you're going to see a lot of people try to play the balance. If you can take it, you should give it to you. Hear a lot of things like that, unfortunately, in life. Because another thing we come here to do is learn how power dynamics work. Power in particular does not work like that. Okay, there's always a victim. It depends on who you pick or what you pick to be the victim. Okay, there's always some kind of victim. Hopefully your romantic partner is not your victim, but there's always some kind of victim. And the idea is to absolutely destroy the victim. Okay, we don't play balance. Okay, the idea is to absolutely destroy the enemy. You play balance, you go collect. The enemy is not playing balance with you when it comes to your marriage. He will destroy your marriage and chew stick. It becomes statistics. Just like that. The enemy is never playing balance with you. Who is the enemy? Good question. If you ask me, who I go ask? You sit out there, you're playing balance with your life. Your children's life, your own life. It's sad that nobody should hit anybody. Nobody should hit anybody. We knew that.
Different from blue.
Everybody knew that. Everybody knew that nobody should hit anybody. In spite of that, we have a crisis in our hands. A full-blown grown man, nobody has ever told him to not hit a woman. That is problematic. That's not the time to say nobody should hit anybody. Because again, you're not saying anything new or special. That's probably why they hit a woman, because they thought in their mind nobody should hit anybody. So if you hit me, you've crossed the line, I must hit you back. Guess what? The enemy is not playing balance. So when you hit another person back, you can actually take them out. As in literally wipe them out of the face of this planet. Do you think the judge is going to say, let's play balance? Who started it? Even the court of law that we all claim, is that how that works? They'll just like, oh, who started it? No, there's certain lines you cross. You don't come back from it. That's why as men, especially, as leaders of any type, there's some lines you just have to draw those lines. We don't cross this line. Once we cross this line, then you have to answer to some kind of authority, higher authority. Like it could have been the authority you drew it there by yourself to keep yourself in check, to hold yourself accountable. But usually you need another person, another body, another authority body to keep you accountable. Because coconut head is not your mate. All right, so this balance thing is what it was trying to play there, and that's what I was hoping we can catch. Let me play it again.
I don't think that it's right for anybody to hit anybody at the end of the day, you know, and I don't think it's right. You know, I think that we all have to be honest with ourselves as adults and people that have been in relationships. You know, we know sometimes those relationships get ugly, you know, and sometimes it doesn't come out into the forefront the way this one has come out. And it's a lot of stones being thrown. And
it's a lot of stones being thrown. At who? At Chris, I'm guessing. It's on the wrong side of history. You see how the internet dug this video out now? It's on the wrong side of history, essentially. No, absolutely, this is wrong. We cannot keep it simple. PR is not. You're not wiser than public relations specialists. We're not as wise as we think we are. There's a reason why there's professional studies and theories around this kind of stuff. You just want to speak the truth. Let's just speak the truth. Nobody should touch anybody. You're not saying anything new. We knew that already. But you're a puff daddy. You can't say, hey, domestic violence, DV, should not be tolerated at all. We should absolutely discourage it. We don't encourage that. It's just sad what we're seeing. You can't keep it that simple. You must over-explain yourself because you want to tell the truth. As a grown man, because you stumble into a lot of money, you think that's the end of it. Money that can get wiped from under you anytime. They will remind you later on, years later, when you get caught. And that's what just happened right now. He was snitching on himself. There you go.
We don't know exactly what's going on. You wasn't in that car. I wasn't in that car, and it isn't right for him to put his hands on her or her to put his hands on him, and we don't know what the...
See, Shalaye. I wasn't in that car. You wasn't in that car. It's Shalaye. So essentially, when you say I wasn't in that car, you weren't in that car. Okay, why you feel the need to explain yourself so hard? Why can't you keep it simple? Why can't you just say it's sad? We should absolutely discourage anything DV. You don't have to take side. You can even say that simple. Nobody's asking you to judge Chris Brown either. Nobody's asking you to do that. So your mouth is all it takes to destroy you, especially if you're a powerful person. That's it. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. It's all flaky. It can all disappear overnight. Yes, yes. No condition is permanent. This whole thing is not your mate. All of this can disappear overnight.
The problem is, but we need to pray for them and we need to do things to support them. And that's all I want to say about it.
He could have said the last statement. He said, that's all I'm going to say about it. Let's see if that's all he's going to say about it.
You have a lot of people going, why would you do that? Why would you give...
That's all I'm going to say about it. Why didn't you just shut up at that point in time? Well, she's going to instigate more. Well, who caused you to talk more? Ellen, no. You are responsible for how you respond. Hopefully you have a good PR person to tell you that.
Give Chris, a guy who hit a girl, and he's...
She just said it. I don't want to repeat it all over again, but you get the gist, okay? The moment you start playing balance, you're telling on yourself. You might be telling on yourself, okay? The moment you keep talking too much, you tell on yourself. That's usually how it goes, okay? There's nothing wrong with, particularly with the idea of playing balance. I just want you to be careful when you're playing balance. I want you to pay extra attention to why are you playing balance? Why? Is that the actual issue? Are you sure that's the actual issue? Because usually it's not the issue. The issue is right there in front of you, right? It's right there in front of you, but no, I must bring something else to the table. But let's keep going. But in this specific situation, you know why they pull up the video? Because they're trying to make a statement. What is the statement they're trying to make? Your guess is as good as mine. I would like to hear your thoughts in the comments. Let's see. That's what I said. Whataboutism is subtle in that, yes, it's very subtle. Yep, it's very subtle, but that's exactly what it was. Why not brotherhood? Don't start Biko. What happened? What are you guys talking about? Let's see. What about Balablue? Let's see. But I better say I disagree. It's called self-defense. Yeah, self-defense can destroy your life. You can literally, if it's self-defense, sure, but your life is never gonna be the same. It's never gonna be the same. You know, if you think about all this stuff, it's not because I'm playing games. I really, truthfully, I don't disagree.
Well, you're right.
I don't disagree. I'm just trying to get us to another layer entirely of the conversation. Maybe because Chris and Riri hate each other, but that wasn't the narrative initially, but he was also guilty and wanted to deflect. Yeah, you know, the reality was that he was judged more. That's why I always say here that, gentlemen, you don't have that luxury. But that's not fair. Welcome to the real world. It has never been fair. So I don't know where you're getting at with the fair. What do you mean? It's not fair. Yeah, you're right. I agree with you. It's not fair. What are you going to do about it? I'm just asking. Guilty. But we say guilty. MOP, I said it. When you talk too much, you tell on yourself. Yep. Deflecting. I wasn't in that car. You wasn't in that car. Translation, Ellen, how dare you ask me this question? He was getting quite defensive there. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are about this. That's just my thought. Yes, I think he was snitching on himself. But snitching on what? Well, it was in the past. I'm just saying. he did snitch on himself, but probably people didn't catch it at that time. But it is what it is. Just pay attention to our belief system. Actually drives a lot about the reality of our life, a lot more than we like to admit. So I think but let me know what your thoughts are. I will be right back.